Hello guys, welcome to another interesting episode of The Chat Room. We're super excited to have you join us again. We want to appreciate every single person who dropped us a comment on the last episode and who subscribed or liked the video. If you're yet to do that, please go there now, like this video and hit that subscribe button. Alright, so today we'll be talking about a very interesting topic. Body count. To tell or not? So body count. To tell or not to tell? What do you guys think? My name is David and I'm here with Edidion, IT and Moses. Yep. So what do you guys think? Body count. Tell or not to tell?
Well,
first.
Before we start jumping into whether to tell or not to tell, let's not assume that everybody watching understands what body count is.
I don't think I understand what it is.
Obviously you don't. So let's explain what body count is.
I'm going to be really shocked. But it's alright. It's fine. It's fine. So who is going to bell the cat?
Yeah, what's body count?
Well, when you count your body.
Like how many parts of my body?
Yeah, exactly.
How do you actually count it? Do you hire like an accountant?
Like a body account.
A body accountant?
Well, they are all goofy anyway, so let me help you out. Body count simply means just keeping count of how many persons you've slept with. How many persons you've been intimate with. So for some people it's 5.
So as you slept with, you're talking about like slept with like dormitory. You know, in my dormitory back then in school we had like 20 boys in one room. So can I say I have like 20?
So you've slept with 20 boys? Like you want to tell them you slept with 20 boys? Yeah.
Is that exactly what you want to put down there? You want to put it out there right now?
Based off your definition.
Yeah, so I'm just helping you. So breaking news. Can we record that? Can we really put
Please, you need to be very clear about these things. Like you said, you can't just assume that everybody like.
Okay, body count simply means number of people you've had sex with, basically.
Yes. Sexual
intercourse.
Yeah, not
Really?
being. I can say okay when we say intimate, yeah, there are degrees of intimacy, but to be explicit in the definition and sure, we're talking about sex, right?
Yeah, sex.
Yeah, that's what it counts for. So
Okay.
the conversation goes about how important it is to like share this information with
Person you're about to go on that journey with.
yeah
Tell or
married
not to tell. Like,
Yeah,
do you?
it's a huge issue.
So should you, yes or no? Tell or not to tell?
It depends.
Tell or not to tell?
Yes.
On
On.
economy.
Yes.
Who is
President. You know, if it's Buhari, I'm not going to tell.
If it's good luck, I will
He's our president. It's good luck. I'm going to tell.
Yes.
As in,
You still want to drag this to APC PDP?
Oh yeah.
Must everything?
I'm not going there.
Must everything?
Or the weather condition is cold out there. It's hot. No, I'm not going to tell. My sister, please tell us if you will tell or you will not tell. What is it depends.
On a more serious note, like, is it necessary? I think the question is
Is it necessary?
purpose.
Purpose
So-
of telling.
No, see,
So why?
Why do you want to tell?
Why or why not?
the thing we are missing a little bit is that curiosity is
Kills the cat.
in it. Yeah, it kills the cat, but the cat can't help it, can it? So it's in it. You want to know.
Who wants
Who wants to know?
You can't want to know what you don't know.
I'm saying there's that need to know, whether you like it or not.
By who?
By
the,
who?
the person you are
And why?
in relationship with.
For example, let's be specific and let's personalize this. Would you want to know?
So I want to get married to someone.
Yeah, would you want to
And
know?
we're in courtship. And somewhere in my head,
Do you
I'm
wa-
expecting, I'm coming now. Somewhere in my head, I'm expecting her to tell me how many persons she has slept with. Is that the question you're asking me?
Would you want to know how many people she has
That's
slept?
left it.
That's not the question I'm asking you. I'm asking you, would you want? I'm not asking
You see,
you.
it's a different thing if I want to know her from if she should tell me.
Yeah, two different things.
Do you understand?
But now, the first is, before you can talk about her, the willingness of her telling you, or the appropriateness of it or the necessity of it. The question is, would you want that information?
I think.
Are you expecting that? Is it about your expectation? Do you expect to receive that kind of information? Like,
I
Or do
should
you
not
want
know, but
to-
she should tell. Yeah.
You should not know.
Yeah,
But
but she
you
should
should
tell.
Like he doesn't want to ask out.
I don't have to ask, but you should tell.
Yeah, but
Because for me, as long as I'm concerned, it's sign.
Why?
Yeah, because it means you're not free with me. It means you're not willing to be open. I mean,
what
yeah,
if occasion never comes? Like, so we're talking about different stuff. Like, talk about different things. It's not like we were on the topic of body count and I just decided not to tell, right? Like, we never had a conversation that went to body counts. That's a different conversation. But
But
when,
at some point, there are conversations that there are conversations that are sleeping. Maybe you're talking about something comes up and you have to say.
Yeah.
But there are conversations that are like the crux. You know what I'm saying? We want to talk about, we are hungry, we are going to talk about food. Now, while talking about food, we can talk about the kind of food we want to eat. We can veer off on food.
talk about a particular day where you eat this
Yes.
moi, and then because of that,
Yeah.
But food is what we're talking about, yeah?
Yeah.
So the question is body count that, is it that, yeah, to warrant a
I
conversation?
think it is because, for example, in the course of your relationship with this person, whether before marriage or in the marriage, something happens and this person you've had sexual intimacy with gets to be a friend. You know, it happens. You find out that your fiance or your husband is now working for somebody you've had sexual intimacy with. For some reason, some men are very careless. Some men are very they are, I don't know how to put it now, but they are very careless with words. They kiss and tell, so to speak. So something happens and he tells your fiance or your husband
Maybe also
that
married.
I've had sexual intimacy with this person, and for some reason you did not get that information from the person who says she loves you. How would you feel? That information is getting to you for the first time from a stranger, so to speak. But this person has been in the house with you for God knows how long. You guys had maybe 1 year courtship or 6 months, and then you're married, which is 1 year or 2 years later. And she has never as much as mentioned that she even had anything to do with this person. There's a
and
message.
she knows the person, and she knows you are working with this person.
Yes.
Because context is very important in this conversation.
At that point, because at that point for her, I didn't mention it then. Why am I going to mention it now? And she probably does not even expect that this person is going to open up. Sometimes it's not even that she's aware you are working for this person. It could be that you run into an old mate and I'm married. Oh, who are you married? Oh, you got married. Oh, this is my wife. Are you sure?
Oh, I slept with her 3 years ago. What kind of conversation is that?
Yeah, there are guys who do that.
It's not entirely out.
There are guys who do that.
That's
But I'm
like
saying
crazy.
at that point, he
not
comes
entirely
back
out.
home. Something has happened to him.
Yeah.
Wait.
Fact that he has not-
Let's get this easy. So, I'm taking that your analogy now, or that your example.
Yeah.
So let's say you are going to the mall with your spouse, and you run into this person who you had sexual relations with some time back, maybe 5 years ago, or something, and introductions are being made. This is my wife, or this is my husband. You're married to this person. Let's assume that the awkwardness which you portrayed in that example happens, and the person is like, "Oh, you're married to this person. I slept with this person like 5 years ago," which is very awkward. I'm failing to say that happen, but let's assume it.
That may not be exactly that way.
There might be
But he might not say it exactly. He might not say it immediately.
Don't forget that. Okay, don't forget. Let me use both of you as an example, right?
Wow, okay.
Even if
So we can get this picture very clear. Like, she's the one who knows him. I'm the storyteller now. She's the one who knows him. They had some sexual relations, right? She's now married to you. You are going to the mall. You run into him, and you do the introduction. Hey, this is my wife. Hey, what's up? This is my wife. And he goes, this is my wife. I slept with her now 5 years ago.
No.
So
exactly that.
Now that we have agreed that that's too awkward to happen.
Yes.
But the other way that happens, is that both of you, maybe both of you know yourselves from somewhere,
reaction,
and all of that, and then maybe some other time when you're having a conversation, he now brings it up and say, do you know I used to date your wife X, Y,
You know
Z?
the point is, however that conversation comes up, whether awkward or not awkward, the fact that it comes up at all, and this person gets to know
Externally
that
first.
it just changes everything.
So again, context. So when that meeting happens, where she now realizes that, he knows this person.
So she's expected to come up
you
and
get
say,
at that point, because
you
you need to help this person,
that
right?
also sounds very awkward.
That's context.
Yeah.
How is it awkward?
That also sounds very awkward.
Yeah.
Why is it awkward? You just realize that.
Your husband just runs into someone and tells you about the person, and your first expression
To
is
tell him how.
you slept with the person.
Not there. Again, I'm saying
there.
it's not going to happen in that conversation.
not there, but-
You guys have gone to the mall. You now go back home, and then.
Then she brings up the conversation that that person we were
This
dating.
guy, where did you know him from?
Because I actually slept with him.
Same office, he just resumed.
Do you get?
But I think you know the message is being delivered.
There's no how to deliver that message.
I mean, she now
Yes, he has a point. It's
I mean, she
difficult
not
to
telling
say.
you husband.
You will not say that. The only way you're going to say that is from a place of. You're going to say from a place of guilt and a place of I don't know.
I don't see how.
Why guilt? Because you need to meet your husband now. It's not as if
it
you're
doesn't
cheating.
matter. It does not matter.
How
Really?
did they-
It's an awkward, a difficult thing to tell someone.
No, she's a woman, so maybe she.
No, me, I'm even saying why
No,
guilt?
How are you telling
Why
me?
guilt?
Let's streamline ourselves now. Whether you like it or not, however that happens, that conversation is a difficult conversation to have. It's not something you just throw
Nobody
out.
is saying
No, I'm not
it's
saying
It's difficult, of course.
I want you to understand
If you
something.
will have it or not.
Yes.
If you have it, will you have
The
it?
way you are saying
That's
is
the
like it's
conversation.
something that you can just bring up when somebody are saying maybe we are having a sort of something and you just bring it up and say, we met this person at the mall, and you come back and say, actually, it's like, how did you meet this person? How did you meet so person? I used to. No, you will not. Nobody will do that. I doubt.
In fact, Seth, let's even go back to the
Depends on how
mall.
you present.
When that meeting happens, obviously these guys know each other.
There's no best.
So there's a conversation that is going to happen. You know this person. There's a conversation that has to happen here. The level of awkwardness in this conversation will depend on the kind of relationship these two people had,
Yes.
and how that relationship went.
And you can begin to.
There's a lot of randomness in that place.
You can begin to make some what I call it now assumptions based on the nature of the conversation these two people are having.
Yeah,
Right?
so again, I'm saying it depends on the nature of relationship they had and how that relationship went. There are people who had relationships and broke up, the relationship ended,
So even if
no
they see
bad
each other,
blood,
they just
everybody,
greet and pass.
they can still say, hey, what's up? Cool, everybody's
Yes.
cool. There are people who had relationships and maybe the girl, maybe she stole his money and ditched him for some reason.
Or broke his heart.
Or wanting. And so that meeting between both of them, maybe
It's
they've
like a
not even
shock.
seen themselves in since the incident happened,
Yeah.
and this is like the first meeting, there's going to be awkwardness in that place.
Exactly.
Like crazy awkwardness. You can feel something is
Tension
off.
and all of that.
Which this person will now need explanation. Like, what's happening? What's going on? I don't understand what's happening here.
Okay.
Do you get? There are people who have had this between them, and they are still friends. It's
And
not
they're
as
still
if
friends.
they are still friends. Hey, what's up? Hi. Hey, how far? There's no awkwardness in that conversation. They've broken up, and all of that. And if they were still friends, there's even a high chance. Well,
The
maybe
awkwardness we
not.
are talking about does
Again,
not
it's
come
context.
in their interaction with each other. The awkwardness comes in,
when the person is telling the spouse.
for example, the awkwardness comes in when you dated someone. You are dating this person now. No matter how the relationship ended, once there is that connection of that triangle happens, there will always be awkwardness in that
Don't say there
triangle.
will always be.
No, I
There
don't
might
think
not
so.
always be. Again,
I don't think
context.
so. It
Context
depends.
matters. Are you saying things?
Well,
I
There will
think
be
it
no
depends on how
awkwardness
the
in the
relationship
person
ended.
telling the
Well,
spouse. that
No, what he's
they
even
You are not
saying
even
is different. He's talking
attending
about the
spouse.
context of the meeting. That's the three of them meeting for the first time.
okay, I think okay. Let's come back. I think we have divulged too far away from the topic, and we are focusing on an analogy and
Well,
trying to
that's
dissect
foundation
it.
because you need to again
Yeah.
it's context. He's trying to put context, right? Because to tell or not to, like I said, perspective, like what's the situation, what's the scenario. So for instance, somebody who you are in a relationship with, you guys have like crazy conversations, you're talking about different stuff, tell you how I grew up, you can have that kind of detailed kind of conversations, and then you can go into, oh, I dated this person, oh, there was a time when I was dating this guy, all those kind of conversations can happen, it's possible. There are people who in their own relationship, they really don't have those kind of conversations. The kind of conversations they have are, how many brothers, uncles do you have? Where do they live? Oh, my uncle is now in the US. I almost went to the US one time, but I didn't go again. They've never talked about, oh, I dated, they didn't go into those kinds of conversations. So again, that's why I said it's perspective. So at the end of the day, there was no
Opportunity.
to have that kind of conversation. And because there wasn't a list of things we need to
Talk about
discuss
and tick
one by one, and then we got to body count and I did not talk about it. I said, oh, I did not say anything, and then later you now realize that this thing that you did not say anything, there's something there, right? So
Which brings me to the question: the people generally in a relationship expect that the person they are in relationship with, I'm talking about courtship relationship now with wife, do they generally expect that the person is supposed to tell them? Now the truth is, if in the marriage your spouse or somebody tells you that I've had sexual intimacy with your wife in the past, and you confront your wife and she says yes, and it gets to you, it means you expected her to have told you.
So
You get the point.
You have asked.
Question is, if you expected her to have told you, did you ask
Did
her?
you ask and she didn't?
Because
That's
if you have an expectation, you can't. The person is not God, for crying out loud. Like, how am I supposed to know the things you expect me to say when you don't tell me the
But
things
those are not-
you expect?
those are
Is that
not-
not the reason, essence of
it's
courtship?
not far-fetched now.
That's the
essence for a courtship.
courtship.
Okay. When it comes to your expectation, it's not a normal thing.
If you want
But when it
to
comes
ask.
to me having to tell you, it should be a normal thing. But when it comes to you telling me your expectation of wanting me to tell you, it's not a normal thing. It's not easy to ask me to tell you, but it should be easy for me to just tell you.
Where I think it's coming from is this.
Expectation is not about the body count per se. Expectation is about honesty and transparency.
Let's be
I
very
expect
honest and transparent
to
with
know
ourselves.
all. You get what I'm
Let's
trying
be
to say?
very honest and transparent with ourselves now. Yeah, let's be very honest and transparent with ourselves. I'm
I'm not
saying it's
saying-
not about the body count per se.
Yeah.
Excuse me. It is about
Yes,
the body count
it is.
per se.
Okay.
When those issues arise,
Okay.
to make it look like, hey, it's not about it, it's about the fact that you did not tell me something. Oga, I can't. There's no way I can tell you every single event that happened in my life. Now, if an event that happened in my life happens to come up,
An event as important as who you shared your body with.
that is not body count.
It's important
It's a
event.
very important event.
Events that- Let me give you an
I don't
example.
care you failed in school. Bring up the fact that you slept with this person.
Let me give you an example. So let's even something as crazy as the fact that
Who cares about your F9? Tell me you slept with this person.
something as crazy as the fact
What
that
if she said all those things but did not mention names?
I mean,
or probably the man doesn't
this is what I'm
even know
talking
them,
You
but
told
she
me
has
about
said
your
it.
crazy childhood stories. Who cares about that? And you left out the body count.
Exactly what I'm saying. This body count. What if she has said it?
You should have
Okay.
started from the body count in
This-
telling me who you are.
this is even a very important
From the body
question.
count.
This is even a more important question.
Yeah.
Will you?
Eddie, calm down. What I'm asking
I'm
you.
calm.
Calm down.
This is the
What I'm
calmness.
asking now is I slept with Moses, for example.
Yes, you slept with Moses.
And at that point.
Thank you for telling us that you slept with Moses.
Is this admissible in a court of law?
Wait, and at the
You
point of
just told us you slept with Moses. Let's move on, please. So she slept with Moses.
We're moving on to the next topic.
This guy took something we want to
Okay.
It is
so
obvious this is
please-
a very important topic.
Very important.
Yes, the topic is an important topic. Please, please, when you
It's been an important
start the
topic.
conversation with who you slept with. Please, it's the beginning. My
Meaning you are
name
going to
is
state it.
yes. My name is Moses Emein, and these are the people I have slept with. That is how the conversation starts.
Okay, now
what
we
I'm
understand.
asking now
Oh
is,
my God.
when you mention those names and those people, at this point, she doesn't know, he or she does not know them. And this scenario still plays out. I'm telling you this person, you don't know this person at the point of me telling you, I'm just counting.
That point,
No, but it's easier. But it's easier. I know. No, but it's easier when anything pops up in the future and you can refer to the fact that I mentioned.
like this
Do you get the point? So forget about all I was saying before now. That was a joke.
It was high.
Yeah. So, but my point is.
Out of the abundance.
No. Oh, I'm married. I know. And ask my wife. I didn't ask her what it counts.
You didn't ask her, did you tell her?
No, I didn't ask her. But and I told her mine. Yes, I did.
You told her.
Yes,
Okay,
I did.
fine. So that's what I was going to say.
Do you know what I did? Because I don't want anything. Do you know what I did? Because I don't want anything popping up in the future, and I have not mentioned to her. I like to be transparent, and I want the person I'm with to be transparent with me. That's me.
No.
Yeah, so-
It's that when you were thinking about the future, you just thought and said, oh, one day she might just meet this person, and then if it comes up, she might feel bad. So let me give her a reference so that she won't feel bad. The question is, at the end, what at the end of the day? Because he mentioned it being about honesty and transparency, and I'm saying when you dig deeper, it is not about honesty and transparency per se.
It's about pride.
It's about the fact that what we're talking about is something as sensitive and personal as my spouse's body. Do you get? So regardless of the fact that when that happened, I was not even in the picture. If you remember in the last episode when we were talking about gender roles, we said a lot of people say different things during courtship, right? Like, I'll tell you what you want to hear, and then when we get into the marriage proper, person is now like, I don't really want this thing, right? And then issues now arise. So before the marriage, when I'm giving you body count, before the marriage, right? In courtship, I'm giving you body count, giving you this gist. And let me also state that a lot of times it doesn't even matter what the count is. But before the marriage, I'm giving you this story.
Always matters.
I'm giving you this story.
That's why it's called count.
We're going to come back to number.
It is
But
called
first,
count because the numbers
I'm
are
giving you these
important.
stories about, this happened, that happened, this happened, that happened. At that point, this person will still feel like, but you see, you have a choice, right? Walk away and say, based on this testimony, I think I'm no longer interested. Why will you? In fact, I want to marry somebody with zero body count. Or
You know, come to think of it, a body count is actually sensitive because it's gender bias.
Thank you. That's very to be.
Body count is actually gender bias, and I have to put it out.
Very, very.
It's very gender bias. You see, when men seem to be more sensitive about body count, women really don't care like that. I mean,
Are you speaking for the women? We have the
she's
woman
here,
here.
but I mean, I know
Women really care about body count.
Let's speak
Yes,
for
we do.
ourselves.
You do? You really do about how many persons a guy has slept with? Is it
Doesn't it
important
matter?
to you?
Yes. If the number, body count number, yeah. But personally, how many person I count? 50, 60.
50.
Wow.
No, when I'm even saying it doesn't really matter.
Wait, is that the temperature? Or you just mentioned how many persons have slept with?
50, 60.
Wow.
Okay. Whoa.
Like 60 degrees Celsius or 60 persons. Somebody has slept.
So the question I'm saying, what I'm asking is, for guys, right? At least there is our society has always policed the woman's body, right? What to wear, indecent dressing. The virtuous woman is a woman that is like the value that is placed on virginity and all those kind of things. So normally or naturally it goes without saying that the woman with a high body count is seen as
overtly loose.
Yes, loose than a slut or
society,
yeah. But for a male, nobody really cares. Like, oh, this guy had enough experiences in his life and stuff like that. So that gives the conversation a lot of texture. So you're saying you're expecting the woman to tell you her body count, but she knows the implication of that. Even if the both of you, let's say you both have 50-50, like you said, 50 people each. Yeah. You can say you're on with your chest. Yeah. You can say you're on 50 with your chest. But she knows
she's not expected to do this.
Yeah, she knows that she can't do that. She knows the perception.
From what I'm hearing.
So at that point, should she tell?
From what I'm hearing, it's the fact that this now gives context, right? Because what we're saying is the default is to assume. So when I meet the lady, default is to assume that, oh, this lady has kept herself. Like worst case, maybe 1 or 2. Worst case.
Nobody expects her body counts to be way up there.
Is it that you're a slut or something, or you're just living with different men on every day, every other day? Do you know, like, so?
Yeah.
So default is to assume for the lady that, oh, like maybe 1 or 2, some less allowance. But for the guy, it's like, could be anywhere. Guys are guys, depending on the kind of life he lived, could be anywhere. And that anywhere is pretty normal. Default now, right? So when it now comes to the conversation, she's already expecting that, oh, tell me about your heroics. But for the lady, it's not going to be looked at as heroics. It's going to be looked at as
more like chastity or your
tell me how
much virtue you have left. Let's know how much of virtue you have left. You are bringing to this marriage.
How much is your bride price now?
Well, again, the question.
Sadly, that's the reality.
The question now is, looking at that, wouldn't you say it's kind of biased?
It is. That's what I said.
It is society.
I said body counts as a topic by itself is gender biased.
So
favors the guys more than
having established that, back to the crux of this conversation:
tell or not tell.
Tell or not to tell, right? With that understanding of
how
the bias, it can just be seen that, look, if you are going out with this girl and you are going to get married, and she has had, we'll now get to number this high body count, maybe 5 or 6, whatever the number is for you, and you expect, there is a natural expectation that, oh, if there's anything out of the ordinary, I should know. So if it's out of the ordinary, she herself knows it's out of the ordinary.
Why are you pointing at me?
Yeah, the only
the only that is here.
She herself knows it's out of the ordinary. So if she holds back that information, then she's holding it back knowingly or intentionally. Either because she feels, oh, maybe if I tell him, it changes the way he looks at me and all of that. For which I think there's a problem.
Well, tell or not to tell on my opinion. I say yes, you should tell. But
there's any consequence.
But there's a side to it. Not every courtship ends in marriage.
Yeah.
So, for example, you, as a young lady, you have to be in courtship with maybe 10 persons before eventually you get to marry the person. So it means you have 10 people roaming the streets with all of your information.
All of your information.
So she slept with 50 people, all of that. So because of that, a lot of people hold back. So the question is there a point in courtship where you are supposed to tell? Even with saying, yes, you should tell. I mean, you can't, I joked about the fact that that's where the conversation should start. No, it shouldn't. Because that's very private information. So it's not something you just put out. It's not on your Facebook bio. You just put it there, my name is this, I slept with 50 people. You don't get a Nobel Prize for that. So you don't want to put all this information out there. So even with the saying yes, you still have to do discretion. At what point should you tell, even when you should tell?
So I think the real question you want to ask is,
Should you tell at all?
Yes.
is to have the conversation. I think the conversation to be had should be the conversation of, do you expect me to tell you?
Yeah.
Like
This conversation should also be had.
yeah. So
Do you want to know?
So you should actually ask your
Yes, do you want
You and your spouse.
Yes.
both of you should have the chat room.
Have a chat room. Do you want to know? Because there are some people that do not want to know.
So who brings up the conversation? So you just make it up.
But the question is, why wouldn't you want to know? See, for me, I'm at the place where I'm saying, is this something? Okay, let me speak for
Is
me
that
now.
important than information?
Let me speak for me now.
But
Is it something?
everybody can deal with it.
Is it something I would expect somebody? So I'm going to do, and I'm expecting that this person at some point will tell me what their body count is. No, the last thing I'm thinking about, because for me, that is pretty much in the past, right? I'm looking at this person now, and I'm looking at this person in the future. I'm trying to see this. I'm looking at this person now, and I'm seeing this person in the future. I'm looking at the things that make up this person now. Like, who are you right now? Me talking to you now. This person might have had a very crazy past, nasty past. But for me, as a Christian, I try to look at people the way God looks at them. Because when God sees us, He's not looking at your past or trying to say all of that.
Looking at you,
It's now and where you are going to.
Which is what it should
Where
be.
you are now and where you are going to.
Which is what
So for me, with that perspective, that's the perspective, that's the mindset I'm carrying. So even if like 10 years from now, the conversation about the past comes up and is something that I wasn't aware of, like body count, this, or this person, somebody comes to me and says, do you know that I did this? Like, so what?
Well, I think that's you.
Yeah, that's what I said.
1 out of 100.
That's what I said for me, and I think
it might not be the same.
I also think it's very important because I'm thinking if that's going to alter your perception of this person,
Much later.
then what exactly were you looking at? Were you looking at this person before you met them or after you met them? Who are they? So again, I'm going to come from the believer's perspective here. I'm saying this person did all of this stuff. This person got born again. This person is born again, right? And I'm dealing with this person right now. Is it right for me to now go and try to hold them based off of something in their past? Because they did not tell me. They told God. Must they tell me to now find justification?
They told God because God should have told you.
Let me come.
God did not tell you. So God is at fault now.
Why are you not told?
So we blame God for not telling you.
This is my own take, right? Yeah, you have the point. Valid, very valid point. You have a very valid point as to why they are both valid arguments if you look at it critically. At the end of the day, you just have to choose your battles, basically. Now, you meet somebody. Let's assume this person was a sex worker before.
There's one used to work at sex. Is there a shop called sex, please?
Okay.
A ministry.
This person was at Olosho.
Oh my God.
Don't confuse the audience. When you say sex worker,
Okay.
is there a mall in town?
It's a street.
Okay, that's what
Where you go and work sex?
You know what I'm saying? Prostitute, yeah?
Okay, now.
In fact, let me not go. Let's say a prostitute in the past for whatever reasons, and person got reformed along the lines. nice person now. Life is going on track.
And he's gonna get married.
Yeah,
The person should definitely tell. Let me help you before you even land.
yeah. I'm getting there.
Let him land the plane.
I'm coming. I want to attack his
Perspective.
yes. I want to critique. Let me not say attack. I want to critique.
Taliban.
I want to critique it a bit. So we are products of our experiences, right?
Yeah.
Yes, you got born again. Let's say from the Christian's perspective now, and you are reformed, but you are a product of your experiences. This fashions your worldview, fashions your psyche. There's a lot that happens.
It helps the person to know what to expect.
Yes. The way you accept people, the way you respond to issues and stuff like that. So sometimes you are not seeking the information to judge or to make recommend. Yeah or no. I want to know this so that I can now say, okay, because of this what I have, yeah, this person, or to make judgments or to make recommendations, so to speak, from that information. That information just gives you a better understanding of this person you are with. It's not to judge. It's not to drag the person into the past.
So
it's not trying to.
agree.
It's not trying to say that I'm trying to make your past relevant. You telling me about your past does not validate it as something that you now are, right? Yeah. Now, on the other side, people can be fickle because emotions are very fickle. We might like to think that we are rational people, but we are barely rational, right? So neuroscientists will tell you that you are rational just basically 30 to 40% of the time. More often than not, you act emotionally.
Yeah.
Even the most rational decisions you will take emotionally, right? Your brain is more inclined to be emotional than rational. Because of, So you might say, okay, I'll get information. Yeah, it's your past and it's blah, blah, blah. But something comes up, you are in a heated argument, right? Relationship gets things happen, something happens, there is a serious chaos in your relationship. There is no way, and let's assume that chaos has to do with infidelity or maybe trust or something along those lines.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no way that knowledge of the past will not begin to imprint on what is happening now.
True.
No matter how rational you have been or you are in trying to separate this person from his or her past. You're trying to make
It comes up.
Yeah, it's not your fault. You are not doing it. It's just something that will happen. Okay, I'm trying to say. So the question is, like I said earlier, you choose and you pick your battles. What do you think? Do you think you can?
Have you even answered the question yes or no? Tell or not to tell?
This guy has
Tell or not to tell?
ended up just.
I don't have. He said no. You said yes. I'm
I
undecided.
didn't say no. I'm saying
You are
perspective and context
I think,
matters.
Okay, I think I'll pull that
Yeah,
line.
because the point is like that example
It's
you
not-
are giving
it's
of
not
somebody
black or
being
white.
being a prostitute. I'm saying
Look, I didn't say you have to. I say you should. You should.
Yeah.
I'm saying somebody being a
For me, it
prostitute. I'm
depends.
saying if
It's not
Like-
a must, but you should.
It depends on who you are getting married to.
that's something you should tell somebody.
Yeah.
Like you were a prostitute, that's something you should tell somebody.
Really? Why?
Person you are getting married to, excuse you. Why shouldn't you share that kind of information? That's information important.
Okay.
Very important. Everybody on the
I mean,
street.
that's not even like a one night stand.
Everybody on the street knows you. That's not
You're working at sex.
No.
Like this one is.
Everybody on the street knows you.
These are different things. So how do you say that?
Having a
Same?
one night stand
Yeah.
and
What it might
just
it's along
this
the
one.
same lines.
Yeah.
Why? What are you saying like this now?
It's along the same lines.
Okay,
It's still
it's at the same level.
Yes.
You know, there's even.
I know one is more intense.
You know, it's more.
For me, it comes down to
You know, there's even body count and then there's X count. If there's a word like that.
X count.
How many people?
X, that's how many people you dated now, right?
Yeah, so
What you understand doesn't mean you dated the person, so it's
Well, for me, my decisions, my biases,
I think that's an interesting.
that's a conversation by itself.
my decisions and biases are colored
You
by
can be slept without even being in a relationship.
spirituality.
Yes, you can be a relationship person without sleeping person. So
And you can be in a you can
God is
be-
also important. That
and you cannot be in a relationship and sleep with a lot of people as well.
yes.
So yeah.
So it's a conversation by itself, and it's important. People want to know. I mean, I don't want to run into somebody and say, "Oh, she was my girlfriend," and I'm not aware. You know, the person is not. So the person wants to know also.
So
Tell me.
Practically do a list.
Of places in your house.
You do PowerPoint.
PowerPoint presentation.